It's Monday, March 6th, and time for your Barbados Today morning update. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Thanks for joining us. A brave demonstration of solidarity. That's how political scientist Peter Wickham has described the ruling Democratic Labour Party's mid-term conference held over the weekend. Wickham tells Barbados Today the party showed supporters that it was alive following what he described as a turbulent few weeks. At the conference, Prime Minister Frondell Stewart assured supporters that the recent downgrade by international ratings agency Standard & Poor's would not affect the country, as his government was not seeking to borrow. Here's what he had to say.
Rating agencies can only downgrade Barbados's credit worthiness, its ability to borrow. They cannot downgrade Barbados itself. The most they can do is to say to us that if you want to go and borrow, because we have downgraded you, persons who might be inclined to lend you will make the money they want to lend you more expensive. But we are not looking to borrow. We are looking to earn foreign exchange, not to borrow it. We are trying to get away from that habit of borrowing foreign exchange to earning our way in the world. Not saying that from time to time you may not have to go in very extreme circumstances to the market, but that is not any first resort for the present government. We are trying to earn our way in the world.
However, Wickham tells Barbados Today he is not convinced that residents are any more confident that all is well with the country following the conference than they were before.
This weekend's conference was a brave demonstration of solidarity within the Democratic Labour Party, and it was useful to let us know that the party was alive and well. It was united and was able to respond to what was a very turbulent few weeks for them. Having said that, however, I'm not convinced that we are any more confident that all is well in the economy after the conference than we were before the conference. And if you take, for example, the assurances given by the Prime Minister that the downgrades are meaningless and Barbados cannot be devalued. The fact of the matter is that this is nothing that we haven't heard before, and if it wasn't useful in inspiring confidence before, I'm inclined to think now that we will perhaps not take a whole lot of confidence from what the Prime Minister said in response to what was, as I said, economically and politically a fairly turbulent time over the last couple of weeks.
Also addressing the conference held at the Queen's College Auditorium was Finance Minister Chris Sinclair. He said the government had cut almost $100 million in spending for the financial year and had also significantly lowered the deficit.
When we went to Parliament in March last year, we approved a deficit of 7.9%. They rounded off at 8%. That was the target for the estimates. And we made a concerted effort behind our intake that 8% was too high. I said in the budget that we would bring additional measures, plus we will do an expenditure review, what we call a midterm review, mid-year midterm review. We did both. And I'm happy to say that in addition to getting close to 100 million, we said we wanted to get 50 million. We actually have ended up getting close to $100 million in cuts of expenditure without disrupting the entire country. And we've also been able to get our revenue up to the extent where we expect that the deficit, we had set a revised target for 5.5 from the 8, and we are going to meet the 5.5. In fact, in another couple of days when we lay the estimates, you will see that we have actually bettered that target.
In other news, Barbadians are paying less for gasoline but more for diesel and liquefied petroleum gas. The price of gasoline declined by 2 cents and now retails at $2.97. The price of diesel will increase by 4 cents to $2.21 per liter, while the price of kerosene remains unchanged at $1.13 per liter. The new retail price for the 100-pound cylinder of LPG is now $153.85. The 25-pound cylinder will cost $43.56, while the price of the 22-pound cylinder will now be $38.50. The 20-pound cylinder now costs $35. The new prices went into effect at midnight last night. In sports, England takes a 2-0 lead in the 3-match series against the West Indies. This after the visitors defeated the regional side by 4 wickets on Sunday to win the second one-day international held at the Vivian Richards Stadium. Chasing 226 to win, England reached their target in the 49th over, with Joe Root top-scoring with 90, not out. The Windies were dismissed for 225 of 47.5 overs, with Jason Mohammed top-scoring with 50. The third and final game takes place in Barbados on Thursday. Sports Minister Stephen Lashley has given the just concluded Sandy Lane Gold Cup the thumbs up. He says the event, which was held this past Saturday, continues to attract a large crowd, which bodes well for the island's economy.
I want to congratulate Dorset for coming in a second year and winning the Sandy Lane Gold Cup, and they have done phenomenally well. But of course, all the other horses have done well here at the Garrison, and of course, I'm very pleased with the kind of excitement that always grips the Garrison for Gold Cup. We've had a really good crowd this year. The Barbadian public have come out and supported this event. And I think that this is really great for not only what is happening here in terms of the development of horse racing at the Garrison, but it shows that this event can still have the potential of bringing to Barbados a tremendous amount of activity. And of course, as you know, within the realm of sports tourism, what happens is that with this kind of excitement, we have the potential to even generating more foreign exchange for Barbados.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Read all about it, read all about it. Get your paper. Only $2.25, let's get your paper.
You again with that stale news from yesterday. I got the Barbados today on my phone, and I just get my news for free.
What do she?
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To news from the region, the Cayman Islands Health Department says it will push for standardized HIV/AIDS testing after 3 people were given the wrong results. We get more in this report from Cayman 27 News.
3 people initially tested negative for HIV at private healthcare facilities, but those tests later returned positive results at the HSA's lab. The names of the private institutions have not been released by Public Health, citing confidentiality. The results were also confirmed by the authorities' reference lab in the US. The department says all 3 people and institutions involved have been notified the initial test results were wrong. The HSA says this is a matter of public safety, adding that the Health Practice Commission and Ministry of Health have been informed. Acting Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Samuel Williams Rodriguez, and Acting Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Elizabeth McLaughlin, through a joint statement said, these false negative persons pose a public health risk to the Cayman Islands. And as such, there is a need for the standardization of kits used in HIV testing in healthcare facilities.
On the international scene, embattled French politician François Fillon declares no one can stop him in his bid for the presidency, despite growing calls for him to quit the race. He insists that he would not be standing down, even as he faces a criminal investigation over payments made to family members. Fillon's stand comes on the heels of an announcement that his party will discuss what has been described as a respectful exit plan on Monday.
François Fillon came from nowhere to win the Republican nomination, but his campaign then ran into trouble. Allegations that his British-born wife Penelope was paid for non-existent parliamentary work have cast a shadow over a campaign that had seemed unstoppable. François Fillon denies the allegations, as does Penelope Fillon's lawyer, who said that the fact that Penelope's work is real had been proven to investigators. François Fillon has vowed to fight on, despite calls from within his own ranks for another candidate to be found. Many people here in France are now looking to François Fillon to see whether he will be the man to take on the far right.
And That CNN report brings us to the end of our morning update, but there is more on our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're also on iZoom Media and bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 99 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good morning.